Well, hi everybody, it's Mindy Odlin, and it is time for our What If It All Goes Right book club. Are you coming? Are you in? Well, let's do this. All right, so this is week 1. It is chapter 1 of my book, What If It All Goes Right. If you don't have a copy and you're in our WhatIfUP club, you can download it for free right there inside the community. Otherwise, you can get it on Amazon or Kindle. We are going to talk about chapter 1 today as the first week of our book club. So get ready, get set, because here we go. Okay, so before we get started, this is your chance to check in. So I'm excited to have you as part of our book club. Every week we are going through a different chapter of the book, starting this week with chapter 1. So let me know. Who are you? Where are you from? How'd you find out about us? And any questions you have, any insights you have about this chapter of the book, pop them in the comments below. If you want to go deeper, we have reflection questions and challenges and prizes and all kinds of bonus activities, including a live call with me once a month inside our WhatIfUP club. And there's details on that in the links below. But for now, it's just time to check in. Say hello. Get connected. We're going to be going into a deep dive. So get ready for that. I'll be sharing a challenge with you. Be ready for that. And we're going to do this together. So you ready? It's time. Here we go. What if it all goes right? What if it all works out? What if the stars line up and good luck rains down? What if you chase your dream and it changes your whole life? So imagine it's 1985. I'm about 15 years old, and it's the first time my driver's ed instructor piles us into the car with the intention of getting out on the interstate. I was listening to the radio. No, I was terrified. I was so scared about getting onto this on-ramp because I'd practiced in slow places, in long, straight rural roads in the back roads of Texas. But I'd never been on the highway, and I lived in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. The highways were just crazy, overwhelming, tons and tons of traffic. So he got me in the car. I had 2 other students in the back seat who were probably as terrified as I was, maybe more so because I was driving. And I had this amazing driver's ed instructor in the seat next to me. He pulls me on the on-ramp. I'm going slow, cautious, taking my time. And of course, you know what he keeps saying to me? He keeps saying, you got to go faster. You got to go faster. You got to go faster. You got to keep up with the speed of traffic. You got to go faster. And so I got up to 30 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour. And I was freaking out because my whole strategy for driving was trying to stay in the center, right? That was my goal. Just stay in between the lines and don't crash into anything, and things will be okay. That was my strategy. But the problem was, when I was going faster and faster, what I kept noticing was I was looking at where my tires were and looking at where the lines on the highway were, and those lines kept coming faster and faster and faster. And as they came faster and faster and faster, I got overwhelmed. I couldn't stay in the middle. And because I couldn't stay in the middle, I kept adjusting. And when I would adjust going that fast, I kept ending up in one lane and the other lane, the other lane, the other lane. I was swerving all over the place like a bat out of hell. So my instructor, the saint of a man that he was, he seemed to realize that I was completely overwhelmed, completely out of my league in terms of being able to safely navigate this car full of people to the next exit ramp. And so he offered me these words of wisdom, and these are the words of wisdom that you'll find in chapter 1. He simply told me, shift your focus. Shift your focus. I was focused down here on the lines instead of being focused out there on where I actually wanted to go. I thought it was a crazy idea. Like, if I'm looking way out there, how am I going to take care of right here? But I did it because I'm a good student. That's what he said to do. So I did it. And then I was right back, like, okay, I'll do it. But I was too scared. I was just terrified. And then he sort of took a breath and he told me again, he's like, you got to shift your focus. You got to lift your vision. Look where you're going. And so I took a deep breath and I trusted him, lifted my vision to the horizon. And it was kind of a miraculous kind of moment. It was in that moment that the entire ride smoothed out. I can only imagine what it must have been like in the back seat. They must have breathed a collective sigh of relief. It's like, okay, we're going to be okay, because now I could see where I was going. I could see the signs. I could make decisions. I could change lanes if I wanted to. And I share this story because we live in a time of accelerated change. We live in a time where things are flying at us so fast. It's easy to find the problems. And if all we're looking at is how do I navigate this moment, sometimes it can be overwhelming. So, chapter 1 is an invitation to shift your focus, the shift from fear to possibility, from overwhelm to hope. Anytime you're going through your journey and you're finding yourself overwhelmed by all the little things that are flying past you and trying to stay centered in the midst of it, it's your time to take a breath and to remember, why am I doing this? Where am I headed? What is that big vision that I'm creating? Focus on that and allow the things that we do in this now moment to be guided by that greater sense of purpose, that greater why. So that's the invitation here for chapter 1. Now, if you go into our community, I'm posting some discussion questions all week long in there so we can keep talking about it, reflecting on it. I'd love to hear what you're thinking, what you're experiencing. I'm also going to be laying down a challenge for you for chapter 1, a challenge to help you lift your vision, to shift your focus from those times when it feels overwhelming. It may not totally smooth out the ride, but it definitely will make a change. It definitely makes things go a little more smoothly. So I invite you to go over into our community, the WhatIfUpClub.org, and join us for this week's challenge. We'll have fun prizes every week. All that's going to be happening inside the community. I'm also doing a monthly Q&A live call so that we can talk about what you're learning and how you're applying it and how it can make a difference for you in your life. So thanks for being part of our book club. Hit subscribe, hit like, so that you can be part of our videos every week as we go through a new chapter, making our way through the book, What If It All Goes Right? Glad to have you here, and I'll see you next week.